Hello friends, you're with the Lonesome Gamer, and tonight I played Chainsaw Warrior. And this is not a playthrough, but I'm so happy I can proudly announce that I managed to beat this game. I always thought it was impossible, but I really made it, and I just have to tell you that I'm really happy about that. I had a great time. It was just amazing. Basically, I didn't start too well. I don't know if you know the rules. I made a video about this. Actually, you probably don't know the rules because it's not a very popular game. Anyway, in case you know, these are my stats. So the hand-to-hand fighting was good. Actually, it was good. My reflexes were also good. I had problems with my endurance, so the radiation and the zombie venom could have been a real problem, and the radiation actually did, because I met 3 mutant things, and I was really lucky rolling there because they only did me 10 radiation, and I was always afraid to find the nuclear barrels or waste or what it is, which would have probably killed me then. But I made it. I didn't find this waste. And I had a health of, I don't know, I think it was 13. So that was so. So basically he was good. It was the good hand-to-hand and good reflexes. But his marksmanship was -1. So that wasn't that good. But I had great equipment. Of course, the laser lamps, and then I had an equipment allowance of 7, which is also really good, and I was very happy about that. And I had here the metal detector, which actually allowed me to ignore the meat machine, to avoid mines. Not to ignore the meat machine, but I didn't have to test reflexes, avoid mines and wire traps. And especially the mines are really dangerous because you can lose equipment due to these mines. So that was a very useful thing. The torch is also great because it gives you a +1 hand-to-hand rating against zombies and rats. And you can ignore this penalty during nighttime. Then I had this automatic rifle with 12 shots, which is always a good thing. Even though I have a marksmanship -1, but it's still good. I had the Stunix, which adds a 2 to hand-to-hand rating, which is awesome. And the implosion suite, implosion waistcoat. And I was really, that was an option, and I really thought about using this when I met darkness. This simply destroys darkness and yourself, and the game ends in a draw, which is a big success. So that was always an option. And finally I had this flare gun, which is really an interesting device, because during night you can use that gun, and you can treat all cards. You use the gun, you roll a die for each flare you shoot, and you can treat that many cards as clear until you come to a trap, and there you have to stop and the flare goes out. But basically this is a great weapon. And by the way, you can also stop when you meet darkness. So traps and darkness are not clear, but all other cards are clear. And what was also a very important thing was my skill. I had the climbing skill. So I came to the chasm in the first house deck, and this can be very devastating. This can be a really bad card because you have to leave the house and start all over again. But with the climbing skill, you can actually climb down the chasm and up on the other side. So I could ignore this. And there was also the slime somewhere in an elevator. I'm not sure where that was. Somewhere at the beginning here. I don't know actually. And this thing is also very deadly. You have a 50-50 chance. Either you make it or you die. But because it's in an elevator, if you have this climb ability, you can climb up the elevator shaft instead of using the elevator. So yeah, there was also, I could ignore this car too. So I started off and I was doing fine. There was a net which cost me a little time actually. I was about 5 minutes in this net and couldn't come out. But it was all fine. I met some zombies, but I could kill them easily with my really good hand-to-hand stats. The only concern, I already said that when I was meeting these mutant things, they were pretty hard to fight, but I did good. Actually, I shot the 16, the strength 16 mutant thing, which is the strongest mutant thing in the game. I shot it. I was really lucky there. I rolled a 9, which was exactly what I needed. And yeah, the radiation level went just up to 10. So it was a little close here, but okay. I didn't meet the meat machine, so that was kind of lucky. And when it came to the nighttime, I was really optimistic, because then I could use these flares and I could treat all that stuff as I could treat them all as clear. So I just ran through the building and it was all perfect. When my flares were out, I was lucky again. I found some extra flares. So I could not only use this thing 3 times, but 6 times, which was absolutely amazing. And when all these flares were out, I actually met the lunatic, which simply takes an item away from you. And I was really afraid he would take the laser lance, which would have forced me to leave the building again and start with the second house again. But again, I was lucky, and he took the empty flare gun. So that was just great. And then I went on, and there was a little time where it was a little critical, because there was this magnetic field. And I had to make it 4 minutes through this magnetic field, where I couldn't use my torch, my stunics, my metal detector, and I could have also not used my flare gun if I had met darkness during this time. And just when this magnetic field was over, in the next turn, I drew darkness. And I couldn't believe it that I could even see him. I mean, it's so hard to get to him, and I was really happy to meet him. And I knew I had a draw now. So because I simply could use my implosion waste suit. But I said, okay, let's try it. I mean, why not? I was doing pretty fine. I thought I just lost about 3 life points or so. So I had about 10 left. And I had two shots with my laser lens left. I had to use one to cut myself free from the wire, because there was not too much time left. So I used the laser lens. By the way, it was not a wire, it was a net. Anyway, and then I met darkness, and I did the reflex roll fine, so I was able to shoot at him, and I missed terribly. I needed to roll a 12 to hit him because of my minus marksmanship. And then we got into close combat, and I was doing not very good, and I already thought about again using my implosion suit. But then I tried a lucky shot with my last piece of ammo here, And well, I had to roll a 6. And I did it. I simply rolled that 6 and I killed darkness. And that was my last chance. And I did it. So it's gone. And I'm proud as hell. Even though this is a pure luck game. So I'm sorry I had to bother you with this. I just had to. I hope you don't mind. And I hope to see you in one of my next videos then. Bye.